Is it just me, or does it feel like co-op gaming is everywhere these days? Not too long ago, finding a good co-op game was a challenge, but now it seems like every game has a co-op mode, and honestly, I'm all here for it. Hello and welcome to GameGen. Today we're diving into some of the most exciting upcoming co-op games that you won't want to miss. Whether you're into intense teamwork or just having a blast with friends, there's something here for everyone. Let's get started. Reanimal. Reanimal is a co-op horror adventure game from Tarsier Studios, the same team behind the Little Nightmares series. While it's not directly connected to those games, it definitely feels like it could be their spiritual successor. The world of Reanimal is dark, eerie, and filled with grotesque monsters that feel ripped straight out of childhood nightmares. You'll explore this eerie island while solving puzzles and trying not to get caught by the bizarre, inhuman beings lurking around every corner. But the best part? You don't have to do it alone. Reanimal has co-op, so you can face the scares online or split screen with a buddy. Perfect if you're the type who needs someone to hide behind. There's no release date yet, but what we've seen so far already has me hyped. Blackfrost: The Long Dark 2. If you played the original The Long Dark, then you know it's all about surviving in harsh, frozen landscapes. Well, Blackfrost takes things up a notch. The game is set in a world with 19th century level technology, but the twist is that it's a vanquished world, and now you've got to survive in it with some seriously harsh environmental threats. The big news here? It's getting a co-op mode. You'll be able to team up with a buddy and try to survive the psychological and environmental dangers together. Plus, the game's taking the survival RPG experience to a whole new level. And let's not forget the visuals. It's looking gorgeous, with a more colorful world compared to the first game. Blackfrost is set to hit early access in 2026. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and want to see more like it, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the channel and lets me know you want more content like this. Alright, back to the video. Outward 2. Let's talk about Outward 2. If you're into open world RPGs that don't hold your hand, then this is for you. The original game was all about surviving in a harsh, unforgiving world while balancing exploration, combat, and even mundane things like making sure you've got enough water. In the sequel, everything has been dialed up. A bigger world, more immersive storylines, and expanded co-op options. The combat is deeper, the survival mechanics are smarter, and the sense of adventure is unmatched. Plus, you can team up with a friend to tackle brutal dungeons or just camp out under the stars. It's a game that rewards patience and strategy, and it's shaping up to be one of the most immersive RPGs out on the horizon. Split Fiction. Split Fiction is a co-op adventure game from the same team behind A Way Out and It Takes Two. The game is about two writers, Mio and Zoe, who get sucked into simulations based on their own stories, thanks to a shady tech company called Raider Publishing. After an accident traps them inside, they've got to team up and navigate through the crazy worlds that they have created. One's a fantasy world and the other's a sci-fi one, if they want to escape. Each world is totally brilliant. Zoe's fantasy world is full of dragons, magical creatures, and nature, while Mio's sci-fi world has neon cities, high-tech gadgets, and hacking. They'll need to use powers from both worlds to solve puzzles, fight enemies, and get through each level. Streets of Rogue 2. Next, we have Streets of Rogue 2, and if you loved the chaos of the first game, you are in for a treat. This sequel takes the roguelike mayhem to a whole new level by introducing a massive open world. You can explore, loot, and fight your way through towns, forests, and underground layers, all while sticking to your playstyle. Want to hack your way into a base as a stealthy hacker? Go for it. Prefer to blow everything up as a pyromaniac? That's cool too. The game's got humor, endless replayability, and complete freedom to experiment with how you approach each mission. It's like GTA, but pixelated and absolutely wild. Trust me, chaos has never been this much fun. Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, let's talk about Monster Hunter Wilds. If you're a fan of tracking down massive beasts and taking them down with ridiculously oversized weapons, this game is going to be your jam. Monster Hunter Wilds takes everything we love about the series, challenging combat, crafting, and epic monsters, and places it in a sprawling open wilderness. This time, the environment plays a bigger role, with dynamic weather, interactive terrain, and ecosystems that feel alive. Imagine setting traps for a massive creature in a dense jungle, or chasing a frost dragon across a frozen tundra. And yes, it's still all about teaming up with friends, because, let's be honest, Subnautica 2. Next up, we have Subnautica 2. If you loved the first Subnautica like I did, with its underwater exploration and survival mechanics, then you're gonna want to keep an eye on this one. This time around, you'll find yourself on a new world with new flora, fauna, and secrets to uncover. But now, you'll be teaming up with a friend to explore even deeper parts of the ocean and face off against new creatures and challenges. If it's anything like the first game, the world will be massive and the underwater environments will be absolutely stunning. You'll need to gather resources, build bases, and craft your way through all sorts of dangers lurking beneath the surface. But what will really set to make Subnautica 2 stand apart from its previous titles, you can do it all with a buddy, facing the ocean's wildest creatures, solving puzzles, and exploring the vast, beautiful world together. Blight Survival. Last but definitely not least, we've got Blight Survival. This one is a bit different from the other two, taking place in a dark, infected world where you and your friends are survivors trying to stay alive. The game's got that creepy, post-apocalyptic vibe where you'll be battling both monstrous creatures and the harsh environment. In Blight, you'll need to scavenge for resources, craft weapons, and defend your camp while fending off the infected. The kicker here is that it's a pure survival experience. Get ready for tense moments, lots of teamwork, and strategic planning if you want to make it out alive. It's got a unique setting that's darker and grittier than your typical survival game, and I'm all for it. Blight is still in development, but it's definitely one to keep on your radar. Borderlands 4. Next up, Borderlands 4. Oh yeah, it's happening! If you've been craving more over-the-top, loot-filled mayhem, then you're in for a treat. The Borderlands series has always been known for its chaotic fun, crazy guns, and, of course, its hilarious, sometimes absurd humor. And Borderlands 4 is taking all of that to the next level. This time around, you and a friend will be able to team up and explore even more of the wild, zany world that's packed with insane weapons and characters. Expect bigger explosions, crazier enemies, and more loot than ever before. And of course, the humor is front and center, with all kinds of wacky characters and dialogue to keep you laughing while you're shooting your way through the game. Little Nightmares 3. Next, we've got Little Nightmares 3. If you're a fan of the eerie, atmospheric horror of the first two games, you are in for a treat. Little Nightmares 3 takes everything we loved about the previous games and cranks up the tension even further, with co-op gameplay this time around. In Little Nightmares 3, you'll play as two new characters, working together to navigate the creepy and twisted environments that Little Nightmares is known for. The atmosphere is as dark and unsettling as ever, with all kinds of grotesque creatures and environments that'll keep you on edge. The co-op element means that you'll need to rely on each other's skills though to solve puzzles and avoid the terrifying threats lurking around every corner. Solarpunk. Now, let's dive into something a little different. Solarpunk. This one's got a unique vibe, and if you're into games that mix sustainability, creativity, and a hopeful vision for the future, Solarpunk is definitely one to keep an eye on. In this game, you'll be building a world focused on green energy, eco-friendly cities, and living in harmony with nature. You and your friends will be teaming up to create a sustainable society in a vibrant, lush world. You'll be designing cities, growing food, and using renewable energy sources, all while facing challenges like environmental changes or natural disasters. It's got a super chill, optimistic vibe compared to a lot of other survival games. Killing Floor 3. Switching gears to something a bit more intense, Killing Floor 3 is bringing more zombie slaying action, and this time, it's bigger and bloodier than ever. If you're a fan of chaotic wave-based combat, you are gonna love this one. Killing Floor 3 continues the series' tradition of cooperative zombie slaying. but with new enemies, new weapons, and some seriously brutal combat. In this game, you and your friends will be teaming up to face off against hordes of terrifying mutated monsters. The co-op gameplay is the main draw, with you and your squad working together to survive increasingly tough waves of enemies. Expect all the gore, mayhem, and dark humor that the series is known for, but with some exciting new features like more diverse maps and intense boss fights. Elden Ring Nightreign. Next up is Elden Ring Nightreign. Yes, you heard that right. Another chapter in the Elden Ring universe. If you loved the original Elden Ring, then you are in for more of that epic dark fantasy action, but with a new twist. Nightreign takes place in a whole new region, bringing with it fresh lore, dangerous new enemies, and of course, intense combat that fans of the series expect. What's exciting here is the game's focus on co-op gameplay. You'll be able to team up with 3 friends to take on some of the toughest bosses and explore a world full of hidden secrets. The environments are looking gorgeous, with a mix of eerie dark forests, ancient ruins, and twisted castles. And knowing Elden Ring, the difficulty will be up there, so you'll want to gather your strongest allies for this one. Jump Ship. Now, let's talk about Jump Ship, a co-op FPS where you and up to 3 friends become the crew of a spaceship. This one's all about blending the excitement of space travel with on-foot combat. You'll be crewing the ship, handling its operations, and then seamlessly transitioning to spacewalks or exploring on the ground when things get heated. The game's a bit like a mix of sci-fi action and strategy, because while you're battling on the surface or in space, you've also got to keep your ship in tip-top shape. Upgrades and maintenance are key to surviving, especially when intense battles can break out at any moment. Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core. And finally, we've got Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core, which is adding a whole new dimension to the Deep Rock Galactic series. If you've enjoyed mining, fighting off alien creatures, and collecting resources with your team, this new spin on the game is bringing even more chaos and excitement. In Rogue Core, the stakes are higher, with procedurally generated levels, new enemies, and even more roguelike elements. You'll be diving deep into dangerous caverns, battling aliens, and trying to mine as much precious material as possible, all while keeping your team alive. The co-op gameplay is still at the heart of the experience, so you'll need to work closely with your friends to survive the increasing difficulty. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to leave a comment below if any of these games caught your eye, or if there are other upcoming releases you'd like to hear about. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing for more gaming content in the future. Thanks for watching.